welcome to the show, Mother Fluffers. This is episode number 4. Look at that, you see. Who needs animation when you got that kind of hand speed? Hey, look at that. Hey? Episode number 4 of the life story of my good mate, Monster Michael Todd. He's in the mother fluffing hell. Michael Todd, mate, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Pretty sure you've got a different T-shirt on this time. I'm wearing the same. Basically,
still Kings move, baby.
You got? Oh no, it is the Kings. He's got it. Stay loyal.
Up and down, see me.
And yeah, Michael, as you can see, similar situation to where he was last time. Terrible room colour.
Horrible room colour. What was I thinking?
My favourite comment maybe ever.
Dude, I love this room color. What are you talking about? That was so mean and hurtful. Who does that?
So cruel, isn't it?
Talk about me being bald or something, but don't criticize my room color. What's wrong?
But the room colour is like, what the hell? Mate, I think we got up to around 2006 to 2008. We were just about to go into the Supermatch career big time of the Monster, because it was a clear transition, wasn't it, mate? I mean, you'd not been as visible on the sort of elite dial until probably 2006.
I think we got to around 2008. But I want to go back to some very big wins for me that, you know, personally, that they've just, like, legitimized me as an elite super heavyweight. And that was the February 2006 against Marcio Barboza. You know, I was a huge underdog, but I told you in 2005 at that Riverboat Rumble, I had tied him up. And I thought, man, I can beat this dude. And so, like I said, I was up 2-0. He fouls out round 3. It's a $1,000 match. We both put up $1,000. So technically I won, but he was upset they lost on fouls. I'm like, come back up. Let's do it again. Mm-hmm. He got a win. I ended up winning the match 3-1. But that match was huge. Because, I mean, that's when John Brzezinski and Ron Bath and Travis were like, oh, my God, Michael's a serious threat. Did y'all see what he just did to the biggest Marcio we'd ever seen, you know? So, for me personally, that's a win that I'll always remember, because, like you've always said, you know, Marcio was kind of the gatekeeper of excellence, and if you could be
without doubt,
you were legit, you know.
I mean, you only need to look at Marcio's achievements as an individual himself. If you look at his resume, name me a bad arm wrestler that's ever beaten that dude.
Yeah, exactly.
That guy doesn't exist.
On all the greats. So if you beat Marcio, you were really doing something.
Sure.
But yeah, so that was kind of, you know, beating Marcio. I've never won the WAF World Title, but I've met many men who have, right? You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of the first step, you know, beating Marcio, knowing what his list of accomplishments were. Like, his resume was pretty impressive. So for me, that was one that really went down as a big win. And then 2008, I had just lost my father. We talked about that. And a couple months later, I came over to Arm Wars for the Battleground. Johan was definitely the favorite. And so coming out on top, right-handed, undefeated, huge win for me. Being the Arm Wars champion, opening up the door for me to be involved in your promotion was huge. Coming back the next day and really not expecting to do well, winning the left-handed as well. You know, being on that main stage, on the big screen, 10,000 people in the Trafford Center, huge defining moment in my career. But
the other thing I want to pick you up on that, mate, as well, was this sort of popularity thing, okay? Recent and then.
Yeah.
Now, at this point in time, you get a lot of hate online and things like that. You get a lot of spite, scorn thrown at you because of, in your opinion, a lot of that's due to the situation with Devon Larratt and Devon's massive following. Despite the fact that you and Devon are actually really good friends underneath, which is quite, you know, it's ironic in some ways. But the point that I wanted to throw in there, and we can build on this a little bit as we go, mate, but the point I wanted to throw in there, that was when you got involved in Arm Wars, your popularity was off the scale. I mean,
people loved me.
Ridiculous.
People loved me, but that was because I would do I would win the unwinnable match. The match that it's impossible to come back from against that level of an opponent. I would somehow just have an unwillingness to quit and would find a way to win. So people love that about me.
And we see the ratings, and you do a show, and then you'd come into a show and it's there was a definite visible spike whenever you were in, and some of the matches, I mean, let's be honest, you made your career in Arm Wars doing stupid, ridiculous, career-ending death wars. I mean, it was just stupid stuff. When you look back on that must give you a sense of pride in itself, Mike, to look back at that match and think, oh my God, look at the state of my arm.
So I've recently been posting on Instagram and recently on YouTube some of my older stuff, right? Thanks to Scott McGinnis, I found some stuff on Arm Sports Videos. He told me as long as I put his banner on there, I could start putting the stuff out there. Mm-hmm. And it was fun for me to just go back and watch it.
Yeah.
I would foul the shit out of me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, there's no way in hell I would let me get away with that stuff if I was repping. I mean, it's
almost like that comparison with the health and safety rules now to back then. You know, when somebody makes the memes and it's some kid, like, and he's 8 feet in the air on a plastic cart, like, It's similar stuff. You were in horrible positions.
Oh, I don't know how
dangerous position rubbish.
Thinking about it now, obviously I've had a lot of damage in my elbow. Like I said before, I didn't know how much damage until I got health insurance. But I don't know how that thing just didn't pop off. You know, it was. Some of those spots were just really, really bad. But, I mean, I had a lot of popularity back then, you know, and it was those matches that have made me the guy I am now, right? Those matches is what did all the damage to my arm. And then when the left arm came apart and I couldn't push on the hand peg anymore and I became more an outside puller, it was the injuries that evolved me into who I am now.
Yeah.
Well, actually, who I have been in the last 5 or 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
The new me is a much, much tighter guy. You guys haven't got to see this 2020 version of me yet. You know, Devin just like hit the lottery by this thing getting postponed because 6 days from now he's about to get it, taught a lesson for sure. Because I'm telling you, things are really, really special right now. So I'm super, super excited about that. But so it's basically been that guy made me the guy I had been, and then I maybe through all the hate possibly that I have received, I have now, I don't even think I have to King's move anymore. Honestly, I don't think I have to King's move anymore. Even against the world elite. I think my top row and my hand and wrist and riser are good enough to compete with anybody. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm so optimistic about this year. We jumped way ahead. But yes, 2008 Arm Wars, Battleground, huge win for me. And so here's what happened. Once I won that event, and then 2 months later, you called me back to compete at Liverpool, the World Fighter Fighters game.
Yep, yeah. Cool.
This is when it was a world title. This is when Arm Wars became a world title. I won the Battleground. Now it's Arm Wars World Heavyweight World Title for me. So winning, that world title, becoming the Arm Wars Heavyweight World Champion, right-handed and left-handed on that day.
Hey, and let's make no mistake about it, Mike. At that time, mate, if you look at Arm Wars, it was the Premier League of professional arm wrestling I mean, you look at the guys that were involved in that organisation at that time, Devin Larratt, John Brezink, yourself, Marcio Barboza, Ron Bath, Yoshinobu Kanai, and on and on and on and on and on. There were some absolute monsters involved in that promotion then.
Absolutely. They were missing some of the top tier, Eastern Europeans, and I believe that was because, they were not
language.
But they weren't going to be the language, and they weren't going to be as entertaining. At that time, the Eastern Europeans smacked somebody and walked off. They didn't. Yep. There was no interview, and Arm Wars was a culmination of arm wrestling skill, the strengths, all that stuff. But also, you needed to have a character, and not even a character itself. You just needed to be able to express yourself on camera. And that's where a lot of my And the thing was, I was already naturally that guy. Like you talk about it. I'm a psycho. Like, I'm a nutcase. I'm very, very emotional. So leading up to the event, I always want, I'm second guessing myself to the day of the event until the first match. And that's one thing about me. You've always known, if it's a raw, true emotion you're going to see when I compete. It's either the thrill of victory or the agony of defeat. And I wouldn't have.
Let's be honest, mate. Some of the hate that you've got recently, okay? I mean, I was reading one the other day. It was you showed a rerun of yourself and all these we'll get to, but you showed a rerun of yourself and John Brezink at the UAL when you went crazy after, you thought you didn't get pinned.
I didn't get pinned.
I'm pretty sure. I'm going to be honest with you. I really, both you and John are my personal friends. I love you both, mate. I think you're both tremendous guys. Completely unbiasedly, I don't believe that was a pin either. I really don't. And I'm not saying that you would have gone on to win that match. I don't know whether you would. You will tell me you would. I'll say I don't know.
Right,
it was in a pretty, John's pretty good in a hook, and it was a good show. And you'd have some wars that day.
From getting that shoulder into position to drive all the way through back to the pad. I mean, because I had let my arm get into a twisted torque crazy. I hit the press, almost hit him, came back over, and I buried that elbow and just committed for my life, right? And I was holding, and all I got to do is push that palm into his hand and twist that shoulder. But they called the pin, And at that time, it was
the point there is, Mike, really
extremely emotional.
You went nuts, and you got. Oh my God, you got some scoring. You got so much hatred firing in from comments. But here's the thing. The point I really wanted to make there is that you can't have a guy, an athlete, a competitor, who is so hard on their sleeve that they'll go to the point of snapping their arm on TV, which you did, that there is not a backward step in that individual bar none. And I know that you are that guy. I know that you will do the charge of the light brigade if required, right? Because I've been there and watched you snap your arm after telling me the night before that you'd do it. Now, you can't have that guy and then dial that guy back in and say, okay, now don't be emotional. He's actually emotional.
You got to take the good and the bad, baby. You got to take the good and the bad,
Now, how many times do we have this conversation when we're just chatting? And I'd say that you are like my barmy ass nutcase little brother. Because you'll ring me up the night before a match having a meltdown or something. That you're not, you're mildly nuts.
I haven't been as bad.
No, now you're more confident, to be fair.
Yeah, it's weird. Like you said, when I pulled Devin a year and a half ago, it was a different me. You could see it,
But your career's been that. It's been that. Right before the Pushka match, I'm not sure of myself, going a bit nuts. And then you go out and crack him all over the place. On Chescu, all these things we will come to, but the point of this, what I'm trying to encapsulate is, you can't have a guy who's borderline nut job with emotion on commitment to a match and then dial him back in. So it's kind of like a love-hate relationship with the viewer. Now, the casual viewer loved that emotion. They just look. It's almost like John McEnroe at tennis. People used to love it when he freaked out, smashed his racket up, and went bananas at the umpire. Yeah. It's entertaining as hell. So you've got to sort of which side of that line are you on, and that's it. You are what you are. But my God, you've been in some entertainers, dude.
The thing is, it's real. None of it's an act.
Oh,
it's 100% me. You know what I'm saying? It's just, and people can criticize me or whatever they want. It is what it is. I got to be true to me, and I am a competitor, very much a die-hard competitor, and I've devoted my life to this craft, to this sport, and as long as I'm competing, I'm still going to have that same drive. You know what I mean?
Anyway, I didn't mean to derail
it's all good.
that path, but I just wanted to make that point, mate, because so many times I've been interviewing that guy, either before a match, speaking to that guy on the phone when there's no cameras around, and you've still been that guy.
Oh, no. Yeah.
After the match in 2011 with Devin Larratt, and you're sat on the stairs at the Trafford Centre, it's like, no, I'm retired. I don't want to do arm wrestling anymore. I hate the fact that I've prepped. I've came in here in amazing shape. I lost the match. I'm not good enough. I hate myself for losing, and I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, that was me. You're like, no, come on, don't do that. I'm like, I'm done, Neil. I'm done.
Yeah, not doing it anymore. I'm retired from arm wrestling. Storms out of the Trafford Centre. No cameras. That actually happened. Yeah. So I know you're nuts. It's just that I'm not sure a lot of people out there know how much this matters to you. And that's the thing. It matters to you like breathing.
Well, okay, so on that note, it's not my identity. Arm wrestling is not my identity. It's just something I've done the majority of my life, and I don't believe in half-assed anything. I'm an all-or-nothing kind of dude. You know what I'm saying?
No, you got that medal at home.
Yeah, exactly. So that's okay. So we're off topic. All right, so 2008. Getting the chance to go to Liverpool World Firefighters game, win those, become the Arm Wars heavyweight world champion.
Mm-hmm.
Huge. 2 weeks later, pulling Marcio Barboza. So what that was, yes, I beat Marcio in 2006, and then I beat him in 2007, the Arnold. Here we go. This was the legitimacy to me of Arm Wars world title being the world title. Because at that time, Marcio had won 5 WAF world titles. So if I beat Marcio to retain or defend my Arm Wars world title, no one can say that that's not a legit world title.
Mm-hmm.
So I went into that match, and brutal. Oh, my God. The positions I put my arm in that day, I went back and rewatched that stuff so many times, and I was just like, oh, my God, how my arm not break? And it's just crazy because but I just wanted it that bad. It meant that much. That, because, people are like, oh, you're not a real world champion, didn't win WAF. I'm like, dude, I beat many WAF world champions, and this is pro arm wrestling. I'm a pro arm wrestler. This is what I'm saying? So winning that match, as far as monumental matches, beating Marcio the first time made me a legit threat. Winning the Battleground took me to an international stage where I showcased my heart. Mm-hmm. That's what I did. And then going to Liverpool, I was just freakishly strong in Liverpool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're really, 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 really strong in Liverpool. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I did that infomercial for Perfect Pull Up, and then I'd lost some weight, and I come over there, and then my hand and wrist weren't what it was, and Marcio and I ended up in that crazy war. But winning that match, another huge display of heart and unwillingness to quit, and willing to sacrifice my body to get the win. So those are big moments for me. Those are things that I will remember forever. And, the cool thing is a lot of those memories I got because of you, So that's pretty much how 2008 kind of ended. I did do the ROTN. I went to WAF, and I had those ridiculous matches. That Sergei Takarav match with my arms just horribly out there.
Another one that's nuts.
Pull him back over, and then the very next round, dude from Kazakhstan does the same thing to me. I pull him back over. So it's just crazy. But 2009 was a cool year for super matches. So you did your Iron Curtain event. And you wanted me on the card, but Scott McGinnis was doing the Ultimate Arm Wrestling Challenge in Nova Scotia. So, and they had a belt. Well, I hadn't won a belt yet. Instead of coming to Iron Curtain, I went to Nova Scotia, and I won that title, right? Well, then we fast forward, won a few events, probably did a few things. Boom, Jan and Chesky, Vendetta in Vegas, first time to Vegas. So John Brzezink's going to pull Dennis and Flinkoff. I'm going to pull Jan and Chesky. Well, Jan Chesky is the reigning 100-kilo, 2-time defending WAF world champion, blah, 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 blah. Now, at the time, Ron Bath picks Jan Chesky. John Brzezink picks Jan Chesky. Devin Laird, he's such an amazing athlete. I got to go with Jan Chesky. You and I were the only ones that said I'm going to win.
And I made money, brother.
Yeah. So you and I have a history at that with PAL. They would tell you that so-and-so is going to beat me. And you would tell me, yeah, they said dude's going to beat you 6-0. And I'm like, all right, cool. Take that bet and tell them I'm going to beat them 6-0. You know what I'm saying? Because, at that point, I'm like, oh, what? You're going to beat? All right. It's kind of like the hold my beer thing, All right, go watch this. And so that was a big, big win. PAL stage, 6-0, sweeping Jan and Chesky, keeping a lot of the match outside, then transitioning, pressing and stuff. There was times in that match that I would just take it, hold, come in, find the camera. Because back then is when I used to find the camera and head nod or whatever, smile, wink, and pin the dude. So that was a big win. The crazy thing about that.
And Jan at that time was a hot ticket, mate.
Big time.
Oh.
Legit puller. Like that.
Yeah, really, really, one of the most incredible athletes I've met.
This is where I overextended myself, though. We're about to get into this, and this is not an excuse. These are just me stating facts. From that match, within a 21-day time frame, I pulled that match with Jan and Chesky. I pulled the Unified Nationals, 110 kilos right and left, which I win undefeated. Then I go to Arm Wars in Manchester, and I had to pull Yoshinobu Kanai for my world title. Oops. Yeah, I definitely didn't think that through. I did not expect Yoshi to have that kind of hand and wrist strength. Because right then I was an inside puller mainly, right? I had a decent posting top roll, but I was primarily an inside guy. So when we pull right-handed, and I can't do anything with this dude, basically. And Woody's in my corner trying to tell me this. I'm like, Woody, shut up. I can't do anything, right? remember how crushed I was that day?
Oh my God, I remember you telling me that Yoshi felt Voda strong. You said he feels ridiculous. And the funny thing is, John Brezink told me he felt ridiculous as well, just after that. He said Yoshi at this point in time and Yoshi was serious at that point. Look what he did to Ron Bath. Monster.
Yeah, that was 2010 though. That was the next year.
But there was a period of time there where Yoshi was
strong guy, right? But I was just, like I said, it was my third match in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not realize how much of a threat Yoshi was. So there I was. I was no longer the Arm Wars heavyweight champion right-handed.
And you were gutted.
Crushing blow to me, you know. It's like, oh my God. And I'm always the guy who, it doesn't matter what I've done, I'm only as good as my last match type deal. You know what I mean? I feel like all my legitimacy goes away if I lose. Because I feel like people are always waiting to knock me down. Oh, well, look, he lost this match. He's not that good. He's not that good. And I don't know if it's, I care so much about what people think as much as I care so much about what I think.
Yeah.
You know? And so is it worth the sacrifice? Is it worth all the things that I do and all the time that I put in if I can't win? Mm-hmm. You know? So I think a lot of that comes out. So that was a hard night. I came back the next day and I'm like, listen, I'm not losing my left hand.
I remember that conversation, actually, yeah.
Like, this dude's going to have to break my arm to take this left hand from me. And so I came out the gate firing, boy. Like, wow. You know, and I was on fire. So the thing about me in Arm Wars is once I realized there was, like, I had my shoulder press. When I had a move that I knew I could flash somebody with, I would try something different. Because I knew I had to put on a show. So I go into some drag hooks and some different moves and, you know, pretty good. It's a pretty good first 5 rounds for me. You know, I'm pretty much just handling this stuff. Well, then your camera guy or somebody technical difficulties for like 10 minutes. Like we have to stop the event. So I'm just walking around, you know, Ted Wilson's my corner man. I'm getting some water. I'm like, I don't need to rub my arm. I'm good. Let's just chat. You know, I'm just doing that, right? Because I've already won. It's 5-0. But I remember Yoshi had made a comment to you, and you had relayed that to me, that he would die on his sword before he would quit. I'm like, I accept that challenge. You know what I'm saying? So we get into that left-handed final in the round 6. And I hit in a position, and I'm cocky as shit again because I've already been stroked with this dude 5 times. And then I go to drag hook, don't come back to post, go to post, and he flops my wrist. So I slip out. I'm like, holy shit, what just happened? We get in the strap, and my God.
Oh, what a match.
Commentary on that match. If he's in for a penny, he's in for a pound. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, the strap.
You were wet through.
The strap came apart twice, where I pushed through the strap. So he put 2 straps on us. We had 2 straps, 1 buckle here, 2 straps. And even then, I'm in the most compromised position. Now, a lot of people may not know that's the match that ultimately led to my left arm coming apart. Because that's where the original injury occurred right there. But yeah, we're in that thing for 3 minutes, 6 minutes. I don't remember how long.
Oh, God, it was a long, I don't know.
Said it was edited to like.
Yeah, we had to cut it because it was just too ridiculous. It was very, very similar in length to what we see now with Jerry Carrot.
Yeah. It's that I'm in the Jerry position. You know what I'm saying?
You were the Jerry.
So when I do make that surge and he lets out the, I was like, yeah, baby, there's no better defensive arm wrestler in the world than me. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's got more heart.
2 kilos in sweat.
Oh my God, it was insane. So although that's the match that ultimately left arm came apart, changed the way I arm wrestle to me being now, that was a huge win. Because if I would have lost, I wouldn't have been the world champion anymore. Mm-hmm. I've already lost my right hand and I wasn't about to lose the left hand. So that was probably July-ish. And then I think it's the very next month. You're like, hey, let's go to the hottest place on earth.
In the world.
You know what I'm saying? So we go to Mallorca. And your scalp is so burnt that you're bleeding.
Oh, God, mate.
It was so bad. But that match is where I pulled Martin Bodick right-handed. Mm-hmm. And then I pulled you right-handed.
Yep.
And then I pulled Martin Bodick left-handed. Mm-hmm. And then that's where you and I pulled left-handed.
I had Ryan Clark and Brian, didn't I, on the right? Can't even remember left. We'd have pulled left. And Brian again left.
One dude that was actually pretty strong that day, the Canadian kid, blonde kid.
Brian Tamlin.
Brian Tamlin. He
Right.
looked good that day.
Mm-hmm.
He was pretty strong that day. But yeah, so I won the right-handed, and then I defended the world title left-handed against Martin Vodek, who I got into. That's another dumb thing. So round one, smacked him. Oh, cool. Let's play around a little bit. I got into the worst possible position, completely folded out, and I was just too stubborn to let.
6'5"?
Huh? Yeah.
6'5". I think he was a rangy guy.
Yeah. And once I let him get to his spot, he was really strong, right? So, but I'm still, he did take one pin from me, but then I wasn't going to let another one go, and then that's where the left arm re-injured. So it was a month later, it re-injures. Then you're not like, hey, let's go ahead and pull. All right, I don't have a lot in my arm.
People don't realize how hard those battleground matches were.
Oh,
when you're pulling twice like that, they were hard. And we had maybe 20 minutes rest between our matches.
Yeah.
So I went with Ryan, you went with Martin, then it's me and you, and it's bad.
Yeah.
Hard.
It felt like we was on the surface of the sun. It was so hot. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
And then the water was horrible. Remember how bad the tap water was? I don't know if it was the tap water. I think the bottled water was like bottled tap water. It was horrible. You know what I'm saying? So I was not properly hydrated for sure. But yeah, so that match between you and you can tell that one. What about all the cracks?
All I'm saying is this. I was genuinely concerned about your arm late on. Because I'm not sure what round it was. It was maybe 3 or something like that. You got me with a shoulder press quick. The next one, I changed my angle and got a flash pin on you. And as I did that, you jumped forward and something broke. It was like a proper, and I thought, what the hell was that? Something broke. And when I came back up to the table, I was like off camera. We stopped that, and I went over and said, mate, someone busting your arm. I didn't want to pull, never mind you. And it wasn't because I didn't want to arm wrestle you. I thought your arm was going to bust, dude. Really. Yeah. I actually, and you'll know, in that last round, I didn't hit as hard. I sort of tried to squeeze back because I thought you'd back off. That was a bad bet because you went at me like a dick. And
just like what is doing
the And then when I'm pulling up at you, and I'm like, oh my God, what is his friggin'... I thought your arm was going to break, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it was close. It was really close.
Just your courage under fire in that respect has never ceased to amaze me. Because I'm like I said at the start of the piece here, I have literally no doubt from what I've experienced with you that you will break your arm to win an arm wrestling match. And a lot of people say that, but they don't really mean it. When it comes to it, will they stay in that deep hole? No, they'll pull out, they'll lie on their arm, they'll let it go. You are not that guy. I know you're not that guy.
I'm not really made that way. You know?
No, not at all, mate. Not at all. And post that match, I was terrified about your arm. I thought, when we went back to the hotel, I was saying, people don't know, we had long conversations that night, and I was saying, mate, seriously, you need to get that arm checked. And you were okay. Just ridiculous. So and then it wasn't a long time after that you came back and pulled Opperman.
Okay, so that's what we're going to get to now. January 2010, London. So here's my dumbass doing stuff again. There's a gap. I can smack Opperman if I want to, but I thought, let's make it look good. And I think it might have been round 2 or round 3. I'm here and I back off, and then I feel it go quack, crack, crack. Oh shit! And then somehow it's 4-1 my way somehow, and then like round 6, like my arm, it's done, like it's horrible, and somehow I catch him with a flash pin to win. And I win. I end up winning 4-2. Yeah, that's what it was. So he got it round 5, and then round 6 is, it's still my world title, right? Still my left-handed world title. I'm not letting this sucker go. So I don't even know how. But then after that, we're ice pack, and this is the first time I showed up to an event with a beard. It was a much, much smaller beard, right? So I'm sitting there, and I remember and I have health insurance at this point. I get home, and from here to my pec is black and blue. So that's the one where the first initial tear happens. So I go to the doctor finally, and they tell me, hey, okay.
Finally, only a year too late. Yeah.
What's crazy is I actually still benched a 500-pound bench with my arm black and blue like that. I just put an elbow brace on and was like, let's see if I can still hit 5. I just didn't know any better, I think. I don't know, because it was stupid. But so then, I rehab it. Well, the doctor tells me that I have a torn muscle. I'm like, all right, cool. So the bruising goes away. I keep training. So then May comes around, and it's me and Wagner, which is the match I asked for, and you're like, oh, that'll be great. I'm like, listen, I have the best offensive shoulder press in the world left-handed. He is better at beating top rollers than I am.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go shoulder to shoulder with me, I'm winning because he had a stronger hand and wrist. I felt like if you went shoulder to shoulder with me, I'm the stronger guy. But I just couldn't take top rollers and force them there the way he could because his hand and wrist was stronger than mine. But if we're going to meet in the middle, I got this. And then if you want to tell the story, because the night before,
we used to do interviews with there was extensive interviews that would be sort of interspersed within the show. So by round, you'd get an update on the athlete, you'd get an initial. This is how the match is going to go from each arm wrestler. We had an interpreter there. I think Marcio actually worked as interpreter there for Wagner.
So, yeah.
Wagner said what was going to go down. I interviewed you. You said what was going to go down. And you came out with the comment. And this wasn't the point I want to make here, as I said before, it's not for sort of TV or bravado. This was, you sort of got out at that moment, and it was just me and you in a room. And you'd said to me, look, I know you don't believe that I'm going to do this, but I'll tell you this tomorrow. You'll learn a lot tomorrow. This guy is all about that press. And if he's got that press, then he's fine and he's happy and he's in his place. But this is about a person's soul. It's about a person's inner self. And what I'm going to do tomorrow is take that man's soul in the first round. Said, I am going to jump exactly where he wants me to be. Land bone to bone on him, and I'm going to press through him, and I'm going to woo on his ass. And I said, you really think that'll happen? You said, look, mate, I don't know, but I'm going to do it, and one or two things will happen. Either we'll land bone to bone, I'll press through him, or my arm's going to break. And I guess we find out tomorrow.
That was it.
Well,
now, I went into that thinking that I had previously had a torn muscle. You know what I'm saying? And the torn muscle had healed. So I have the match. Actually, the day before we have the right-handed match. And he gets a jump start, shoulder press on me. My elbow comes off the pad. Richard Poole calls a pin. And I'm like, all right, we're going to play that game? All right, cool. So then I drove him in a press, and I just looked up at him, and he screams in my face, and I planted. So then I go on to 4 more rounds of impressive right-handed. Like, this is when I'm catching him. Like, this guy's strong, and I'm transitioning. My right was on point. I was very powerful that day. The next day, left-handed, boom, hit, yeah, woo, and then I pull my shoulder off, and pow.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't the arm break, but it was the medial collateral ligament ripping off the bone, the flexor mass of my forearm rolling up my forearm, and the elbow dislocating 4 to 6 inches. Now, it was painful. But I'm sitting down, and, Marcio's holding my arm, everybody's there, and I look at Wagner, I'm like, we were in that second. That was a hell of a match right there. You know what I'm saying? And then Marcio takes his hand away from my arm and, wipes something off his face, and the elbow resets. I'm like, oh, God.
Oh, it was vile, mate.
It had dislocated, right? And once he let go of it and wasn't holding it in place anymore, it popped back in. Now, the ligament's gone. The medial collateral ligament's ripped off the bone. The flexor mass, but that elbow popped back in. Oh, that part was painful.
I mean, it went to the pad. It went just torqued round with your shoulder still committed, and it hit the pad with, man.
And what people don't know is the footage that has aired is from the angle.
Yeah.
You guys have the straight-on footage that Eurosport wouldn't said it's too graphic.
Yeah, they said it's too graphic. We had various cameras on it, and the one that I was on, where it was just over your shoulder there, where your shoulder was committed, and it's just, right to the pad. And the sound, the tearing sponge. Oh.
That was bad.
Oh, mate.
All right. So, obviously, I don't get to finish the match. And I'm no longer the Arm Wars World Champion. I feel like that should have been a no contest. I should have kept the title. But, whatever. So, then I go to y'all's hospital, and they tell me there's nothing they can do. Send me home and go get it checked out by an orthopedic. But they put me in a sling. That night, I'm in my hotel room because Woody had beaten Marcio right-handed. And he's running his fucking mouth, saying about how strong he is. I'm like, Woody, I will bust your ass right now. You know what I'm saying? So we're on the corner of the bed, and I'm in a sling, and I'm busting that ass. I'm like, because he's jumping on me, and I'm all over him. Woody and I, we go back a long ways. And he was always, oh, I get you now. Man, you ain't getting me. So here I am in a sling, and I'm on the side of the bed. One of us is on each corner of the bed arm wrestling each other. But the next day, this is what blew my mind. I'm in the airport. Now, this is obvious that I have an injury. I'm in a sling. There must have been at least 10 people bump me in my left arm. I'm like, I'm about to punch you in the mouth if you hit my arm again. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sitting here in a sling and in pain, like obvious pain. And bump. I'm like, what the fuck? Why you keep hitting me? You know what I'm saying? So I get home, black and blue, horribly. I mean, it's bad. So they go ahead and check out my left elbow. Turns out I was misdiagnosed. It wasn't a muscle tear. It was a partially torn ligament. So the ligament was halfway torn.
Yeah.
So when I drove in, pow, just came apart. So this is where things get interesting. Hey, while you're at it, let's x-ray my right arm. You know what I'm saying? Because I've never had insurance, so let's just see what's up. He x-rays my stuff, comes back into the room, jaw drops. He's like, dude, I don't know how to tell you this, but I think I saw over 70 fractures in your right elbow. He said, your arm looks like what I would expect a 300-year-old man's arm to look like. I've never seen that much destruction of elbow. I don't know how you have I don't even know how you have a functioning elbow anymore. I have won most of my arm wrestling world titles in career at this point with an arm that is like completely trashed. But I just didn't know. I just kept training through it. It's fracture here, little fracture there, train, fracture, just kept injuring. And obviously we all have the arm wrestling arm that doesn't straighten. And I didn't realize how bad it was. But that was it, 2010 when I got the first x-ray. The first doctor who told me, I've never seen an elbow this bad. He said, I've seen people in motorcycle wrecks, arms destroyed, drifted. I've never seen an elbow this bad. So to this date, every doctor who's x-rayed my elbow since then has said the same thing. To the point where the second to last guy wanted to frame it and put it on his wall. He's like, can I put that in my office? That's the most ridiculous
so disgusting. I got to get it up there.
Yeah, so I've never seen anything like that. And recently, when I got the benefactor who donated the stem cells, I found my most recent x-rays, which were about 2 years ago, and I sent the x-rays. No sooner than he gets the text, he calls me, hey, we need to have a conversation about your, realistic expectations of that right arm. He's like, you're never going to have mobility back. There's nothing we can do, but it will strengthen the joint and heal all the soft tissue around it. Mm. He said, now your left arm, I think we can get that one back to 100. I'm like, sweet. So I'm very optimistic about what the stem cells are going to do. But so that was it, 2010. Very strong.
Well, let's jump on you there as we hit the 40-minute mark.
Oh, yeah. All right.
On all goddamn day.
Yeah, we still got 10 years left. We still got 10 years left.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we do, remember, please like the video, share the video, subscribe, hit that button, mother fluffers, and we will be back with more from Monster Michael Todd, and it will be part number 5. And we'll be back soon. Until that time, guys, stay safe. Hope your families are safe. And take it easy, peeps.